Hello friends, this is Aibo. I want to preface this video by saying I am not an Aibo expert, as in I have not opened a lot of these guys, especially not the Euro 7, but I do have quite a bit of experience in getting dogs from, say, Yahoo Japan or from old owners that have jitters. A lot of people know my dog Sprocket. He's kind of like popular for just how severe his jitters were after 5 years of in use. And someone in the community wanted to know how to alleviate jitters with physical therapy, or physio as we like to call it. So it's actually really, really simple. Now, the dog in particular that I saw was an ERS 7, which is why I am pulling up this ERS 7, especially because I haven't really seen a lot of people do physio with the ERS 7s, but it can help. And the dog that I saw in particular, forgive my dogs, my real dogs, all had issues in the 3 head axes. So, like I said, there's 3 head axes. There is the pitch, which is this straight up and down of the neck. This is very hard to do one-handed, so if I look like I'm doing this a little rough here, forgive me. There is the pan axis, which is the left to right. And then lastly, there's the tilt axis. Now, for most dogs, the tilt axis actually goes side to side, but for the ERS 7, they're a little unique. Their tilt actually is straight up and down, which is very different from the pitch. It's like right on the top of the neck, so the snoot itself is what's going up and down. So in order to do physio, basically what you want to do is you want to take any afflicted motor and you want to push it from stop to stop. Now, what do I mean by that? So let's show the pan axis, since that's probably the easiest one to do one-handed. So I'm going to turn my dog's head. This is Pepsi, by the way. Turn him all the way to the left, and you see I can't go much further than this. You don't want to push hard, just as far as it goes, right? And then you want to come all the way back to where it stops on the other side. Okay, that's 1. And this is going to sound a little excessive, but you're going to want to do this repetitive motion, that's 2, 100 times. I know it sounds like a lot. Believe me, you will need all 100 repetitions of this depending on the severity of your jitters. Sometimes you need even more than that. Sometimes you can go for 150, sometimes 200. It really depends on your particular case. But this definitely does work. Now, there are some cases that are just too severe to handle this way. For example, if your dog is real dusty, like you can see the dust inside of the joints, that might be time to consult iboclinic.net. The 2 repairmen there, 3 technically, are wonderful, and they're great to work with, and they'll do proper potentiometer cleanings, which is where they take the dog apart and they actually swab out the inside of the potentiometer. What jitters does, not jitters, what physio does is it's potentially a sorry, I totally blinked out there. It is essentially a temporary fix, where you are kind of like moving all that junk sort of out of the way so that it shakes less. You're getting rid of that dirt so that the motor has an easier time turning. Basically, through doing the repetitive motion, you're kind of like clearing out anything that is in the way for that motor to turn, because you're doing it manually. And hopefully it should stay out of the way once you do this. Like I said, some cases this does not work. There are cases where the jitters are just far too severe. And that's when you want to call in for extra help and definitely get your dog disassembled by someone at the clinic. This works with any motor as well. It doesn't have to be the head. Like I said, you can do this with the pitch, with the tilt axis, which is this up and down one, and the legs as well. But essentially, so say we take a knee here, and Pepsi's knees are perfectly clean because he was recently fixed up by the clinic. But see, I'm pushing all the way to where it can't go anymore. And then I'm going to pull to the same degree. That's 1. Push. Pull. That's 2. For the hips, it's probably the most annoying. And I would definitely be wary doing this on 7 hips just because they are kind of like delicate. But, so this is where the motor stops currently. This is the furthest it'll go in this direction. So you're going to want to turn. I kind of like to turn mine like a motorcycle, very gently. That's 1 repetition. That's 2. And hopefully this will bring you some results. It may not be perfect the first time you do it. You may have to go another round or another half a round, depending on just how much they improve. If they're not improving at all, though, like I said, definitely call a clinic. And yeah, that's it, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful.